Hi everyone, my name is Olivia and I'm an empowerment advocate with Christine Ann Domestic Abuse Services. I and my 3 fellow empowerment advocates meet with clients who are not staying in our shelter, but need the safety, support, and resources we can provide. My role as an advocate is the foundation of Christine Ann's work. I and all of our other advocates provide education, options, and support to survivors to help meet their needs and their goals. Our services are always client-centered and client-led, meaning that we support our clients' choices even if we might choose differently, and acknowledge that every survivor has their own journey. Instead of sharing a success story about one client, I want to share with you an analogy that describes how I approach my work with all clients. This method, I believe, is how we create success stories. I believe advocacy is a lot like hiking with someone who has a backpack full of weights that they didn't choose to carry, those weights being the trauma of abuse. Advocacy is believing that a weight is there before you ever see it, and sometimes means holding on to those weights that others have never heard of or seen, dismissed or disregarded, or even judged a person for carrying. Advocacy is realizing that some weights are invisible, yet they weigh just as much. Verbal put-downs over the course of 25 years of marriage, not being able to see, manage, or spend what's in your own bank account. Being gaslit into believing that the abuse didn't happen or that you've simply been overreacting to it. While none of these leave a physical mark, the weight is still unbearable. Advocacy means that before we go our separate ways after each hike, I must have given those weights back with some hopeful and helpful options for continuing to carry them, or have safely placed them on the trail before we each go home. Advocacy is being willing to hike again with someone who has on that same backpack full of weights, if that is what they want, or continuing to hike with them while they leave the weights behind, if that's what they want. Advocacy is always about following their lead and matching the pace that they have set. Your donation makes this transformational work possible. When you give to Christine Ann, you provide hope and a path forward for survivors of domestic abuse. Last year, our empowerment team helped over 630 adults, survivors, with safety planning, emotional support, basic needs assistance, self-care education, and so much more. Through legal advocacy, we helped 340 clients navigate civil and criminal cases. National data tells us that 1 in 3 women and 1 in 7 men will experience abuse in their lifetime. Survivors are all around us, often hiding in plain sight, underneath stigma and beneath fear. Because part of our mission is educating the community, I want to leave you with what you can do if someone you know discloses abuse to you. Please simply focus on listening to and believing their story. It's not your burden to save them or fix the situation, and you could actually do more harm by trying to do so. Tell them about our services, including a 24-hour hotline, emergency shelter, and empowerment advocacy with a caring advocate like myself. Remind them that they're not alone and that the abuse has never been their fault.